keys to victories. We see Ryan McGuire, the head coach of the Baylor Bears. What do you see for them?
Yeah, for the Bears, they really have to serve up some stress for K-State. K-State's a very young team. If they can get it on them, get them out of system where they have to throw it up outside and get their defense set, that'll be a big key for them. And then defend the pins. We've talked about it already. Aaliyah Carter, you've got Haley Warner, Jaden Nimhart, Holly Bonde. They've got to shut them down because that's their offense. And for K-State, good first contact. If they can get into an offensive rhythm, get their middles involved early, that'll be important. And then be terminal. Don't allow Baylor to stay in the match. They got to get the kill right away.
Susie Fritz's club has been on a great serving run here as of late, and that's, when you talk to Susie Fritz, almost the first thing out of her mouth when it comes to how successful they can be in a match is, can they serve well? And this is a good one to start with. Lauren Hinkle, who's among the Big 12 leaders in service aces. Right away, Avery Skinner, who comes right at K-State, national champion with Kentucky. She's the reason Yassiana Presley has moved to the right. Skinner, the transfer, in on the left.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal outside hitter. Not to mention they have Harrison as well. They have a lot of weapons on the outside. 3 all Big 12 players. Carter comes right back with her first swing and an emphatic put down for Aaliyah Carter. That's a great start. Good idea by Adams Kaanoe to get the ball to Carter. She had a big seam in that block and she found it.
Wildcats had a little bit of the injury bug this week, but seemed to have all bullets ready to go, so to speak. Katie Fernholz checking in for the first time. She was out for a while. Presley long on her attack.
Now you'll see Presley used all over the court, front row, back row, on the right side, outside. So the K-State has to be ready to defend her wherever she is on the floor.
Not hard to miss. K-State picking on that side of the court. Cedric's going to throw it all the way across. Really down for the Bears. And then Carter somehow off balance and way off the net, rattles it through the block.
That's one of the things I really like about Carter. She's not afraid to hit those out of system plays like that. And luckily, Baylor's block was a little bit not quite expecting her to really rip it. And that has really been a good key for Carter to get a lot of kills in those transition plays.
Low pass, Skinner into the block. K-State playing well early on against the number 10 team in the country. Warner, transfer from Florida in her first year with K-State, misses long with her first swing.
Yeah, K-State's really gonna want to get her going early. She's got to really just use that block in front of her and not be afraid to hit those high hands.
Of course, when you have these great outside hitters, as these two teams have, Carter and Nimhart, Warner, the third option. The Warner here getting her first kill. Baylor with their 3 that we mentioned, Presley, Skinner, Harrison. How difficult is it as a setter to try and not fall victim to, hey, I'm just going to throw everything out to the pins?
Well, you know, it's probably the easy thing to do. You know, it's just, you know, that's kind of your fallback, is to throw it outside. But really, when you have a really balanced team, that's a much more effective team.
Both teams try and start that early at least. Presley on the left side. You can see the rocket quick arm that she delivers.
You talk about dynamic approach to the net. Yassiana Presley is, you want to put that up on a poster. She's got the very dynamic. She uses her runway, gets a good approach so she can jump high and hit hard.
Good serve, puts K-State in a bit of a bind. Carter well off the net and long, no touch. Bears even it up here with this first set in Manhattan. These two teams last year played in Waco. Baylor won both. Bears have won 3 straight, 7 in the last 9 against K-State. An all-time series that favors the Wildcats, but just barely, 29-22. Carter trying to change up her shot, misses wide.
Yeah, the Bears put up a triple block against Carter. You see Yassiana Presley actually is going to be matched up against Carter with that block, and she's calling out, I see her right now, calling out where she's going to block, what angle she's going to take to her teammates on her backside there. She holds up some numbers to let her team know what they're going to block.
Adams Kaanoe, one of the taller setters in the league, along with Sedgwick, both going up for that. Harrison's first attempt is blocked. Here's Presley. A blast. Morris digs it out. Carter recognizing the block, try to tip it over. Harrison from the middle. The third option for the Bears.
This is that terminal aspect that K-State has to have. They've got to get those kills down right away. Baylor very good in transition. They're just gonna keep attacking at the net as much as they can.
Shallow serve coming. K-State good serve receive from Jackie Smith. There's Carter changing up the shot, getting it off the block.
Yeah, I think that's a better attack for Carter to hit that high hands off the middle, but hit that cross court shot.
So Carter to the back row. This is something that K-State developed with Carter at the middle of last season, finished strong with it. She has played all 6 rotations, so that in the continue the comparisons to Presley, much like Presley, playing in all 6 rotations on the court. Presley able to best Carter here with a blast past her. Presley living up to the billing, coming in already a couple of kills here with this first set.
Yeah, it's interesting having her on the right side, but she's got such a great approach, and that ability to hit all those shots on the right really makes her another added weapon for the Baylor Bears.
Fern Holtz, who missed some time this week with practice and an injury, didn't play up in Omaha in that recent tournament that K-State was able to win both matches. But she is back today, and a big plus for the Wildcats. A huge freshman presence in the middle last season, now in her sophomore year out of South Dakota. Pipe shot from Skinner, and it's been all outside hitters to this point for Baylor.
They add that dimension. Skinner also able to hit out of the back row. Just adds another attacker, so you got, you know, almost 3-4 hitters going at you all the time.
A pair of first-team All-Americans on either side of the net. And Skinner and Presley. Here's Carter for the middle back, and she slips it behind the triple block.
That's good vision by Carter. Sees that triple block up in front of her, and there's a huge hole right in the heart of the court. Baylor back deep on the inline there, almost trying to dig her attack. That's a great shot by Carter.
4 kills for Carter, already 8 swings here in this first set. Aggressive serve by Adams Katanoe. Somehow Sedgwick gets that up, and it's down and turned by Baylor.
Yeah, Harrison does a nice job. You know, that set wasn't great. The block for K-State was set up, but she just hits those high hands and is able to ricochet it through that block. And that's kind of what we talk about when we say they got to use the block in front of you. That, you know, got to do a good job of using those high hands and not avoid the block, because you can still get some great kills by using that block in front of you.
All the talk about Skinner and Presley. Harrison somewhat gets lost in the mix. Double hit on K-State. Harrison, an honorable mention All-American for the Bears last year, averaging 2.48 kills a set coming in.
Yeah, she's definitely found her rhythm for the Bears. So I think initially, you know, new player to the Baylor Bears last year, kind of trying to find her spot with the Bears, but has really kind of settled in and doing a really nice job.
Really the only spot for Baylor that's been of a question, is Susie Fritz wanted an explanation on that last play, has been the middle blocker spot. Kara McGee, a returning all-conference middle the last 2 years, has not had the best of seasons, and today we haven't seen her yet. Here's Bolding, transferred from Jacksonville in her first year with K-State, has recently seen more time.
Yeah, it's definitely been an area I think that they've been trying to find an answer. You know, the Baylor Bears have a huge roster and a lot of players to pull from, and you'll see them mix it up from set to set in a match.
Today, Andressa Parise started, a senior from St. Petersburg College, in the middle, and now in the match at the moment, getting her first swing of the day. Presley Anderson, who actually has been pretty good, the Cal transfer. In limited swings, Anderson leading the team in hitting, 375.
Yeah, Baylor, I think, really trying to find not only that offensive added dimension, but also a good blocking. They've been struggling there with their blocking.
Numbers overall have been good, but consistently, especially from the middle blocker position, that has not been necessarily what we had seen in the past. Carter unable to handle that one. So Baylor with a 4-point lead in this first set. Bram Schreiber, one of the better defensive specialists and liberos of the league, is back to serve it up. Shallow serve coming. Morris with a dive to get it. Warner off the back line.
That's such a great pass by Morris. She comes flying up for that short serve. You see Baylor's really serving short to the Wildcats, trying to get their hitters kind of out of rhythm. But Morris with a great pass.
An unsung sophomore for the Wildcats. Coaching staff talks about her all the time, the libero for K-State. Ranks among the leaders of the Big 12 in digs, and in service aces.
Yeah, you look at the long list of phenomenal liberos in the Big 12. There's so many greats, and I think Mackenzie Morris is making a career to put her right up there with those greats.
K-State for a while there was Libero U. Angie Lastra, Laura Downey-Wallace back-to-back. Had 2 Big 12 Libero of the years there for a couple of, like 4 out of 5 seasons, 4 out of 6 seasons. K-State won that award with those 2.
Yeah, just gritty, willing to sacrifice their body at all costs, and just phenomenal liberos.
Fun to watch, no doubt, those 2 when they were playing at K-State. And Morris along that same line. Difficulty here with this ball. Couldn't quite get it.
Coach
in
Fritz.
that rally, yeah, something.
Yeah, a double contact maybe on that set.
Nearing the midway point of this first set. At 15 points, we'll take a timeout. Baylor serving for that with Skinner, who has 6 aces this year, tied for team best. Adams Katanoe has to bump it. Carter gets the beneficiary of that.
Yeah, set was way inside. Carter does a nice job just trying to keep that ball in play, make Baylor play that, try to get him out of system, and it worked.
So now Carter to serve. 7 aces, 22 errors this year. Presley up the line, but ruled out. Second error for Presley. 4 kills, matching Carter in this first set. So the 2 outside hitters we profiled at the start going toe-to-toe here early on.
Now that's the right shot she wants to make. Just hit it a little wide.
All the way out over left this time to Harrison. Dug out by Carter. Here's Nemhard.
Nemhard does a great job. Her step close there on her approach got her inside that block and allowed her to beat it.
Nemhard is really coming on here the last 5-6 matches for K-State. She has hit almost 4 kills per set in the last 5 matches heading into this one today. Timeout on the floor, and it's Baylor by 2 on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Ryan Smoller, Liz Wagner-Bush, Catherine Benhart, our entire crew with you here from Bramlage Coliseum. From Catherine coming up a little bit later. Jaden Nemhard, back-to-back kills for K-State after being down 4 points, are now within 1.
Nemhard makes it look so easy. That set almost comes over her right shoulder, but does a good job being patient and just hits that deep corner shot. It's such a hard play to defend.
We watched a couple of matches for K-State, did a few K-State matches earlier this season where Nemhard seemed to be falling away, was not on top of the ball. Just everything was just off kilter a little bit. Now it seems much more smooth.
Yeah, she's definitely found her rhythm.
Good work by Nemhard and with the coaching staff of working through those things. She has won that OH2 spot. Gets another set here. And hammers it off of Presley. Somehow kept alive, and Baylor gets it over. What a job in the back line by the Bears. Nemhard goes back again, but misses just left.
Wow, great dig by Presley, because Nemhard really put that ball down the line. You thought for sure it was going to be a kill, but again, Baylor's ability to kind of turn and stay in those rallies makes them such a hard team to play. 5
double-doubles this year for Presley. What a play by Sedgwick, saving that from the antenna.
Wow. That was quite a save. For most people, that ball would have been out of play.
Unbelievable grab there by Sedgwick, who pulls it down at 6-1.
You know, they're competing with some of the best teams in the nation, and you got to feel good about that. You know, certainly you take those losses and you learn from them. And K-State's really just continuing to gain that momentum, which is kind of the goal. You want to be playing your best volleyball by about November, heading into December into NCAA tournament, and that's kind of the goal, and they're heading in the right direction.
Baylor has won 4 straight. They have played a very difficult schedule. All but one opponent has either been ranked or receiving votes in the top 25. All 3 losses are to teams ranked or receiving votes in the top 25, and 2 of the 3 losses are to teams in the top 5. So it has been a tough early challenge for the Bears, who commit the service error and give K-State a point. Second error by the Bears on service, and now Adams Katanoe, the setter for K-State, to serve. From the back row, Skinner.
They had 4 attackers there. Sedgwick's front row setter, but you had Presley on the right in the back, and you had Skinner on the left in the back. Wow. K-State has to be really patient with their block at the net.
Showing too early, disaster.
Yes.
Back set for Warner. That was a tough set, and Warner did not have much opportunity with that. Wildcats, after a hot start, a couple of attack errors in a row, dropped their hit percentage down to .227. Baylor still at .435. Good tough serve, puts K-State in a bind. Hard, unable to get it down. Dig by Carter. Against Skinner, now Carter from the back row, dug out. Back to Skinner. Dug, but into the crowd. Skinner the kill. And Skinner now with 5 kills to lead all scores. And another timeout burn by the Wildcats.
Yeah, Baylor's so good. They're just digging deep, digging some balls, and Sedgwick, such a great setter with her ability to really get the ball in a good location for her hitters, doing a phenomenal job.
Ryan McGuire now visiting with his team and looking at how things have run for the Baylor Bears here early. It's usually because of the success of a setter. See the coach in his 7th year, Ryan McGuire, National, Regional, and Big 12 Coach of the Year. Last year, Big 12 Coach of the Year back in 2017. He's done a phenomenal job with this program, taking him to new heights. And he's got a good setter that's running the show for him in the senior position, in Hannah Sedgwick, who's been there, it feels like forever. I mean, it feels like Hannah Sedgwick has been there for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, running the show for this Baylor Bear team. For more on Hannah Sedgwick and what she has meant to Baylor, let's go to Catherine Benhart.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, head coach Ryan McGuire said, when it comes to Hannah Sedgwick, it's never been about the stats or the numbers. It's always been about her faithfulness. From a freshman to a married woman and who she is now, it's such a blessing for me to have her as an influence on the team. She's definitely a legendary setter for Baylor volleyball, but a powerful woman of influence, and that makes her so special.
Over 4,000 assists for Sedgwick, who started her career as Hannah Locken, then got married. A former baseball player, now Sedgwick, or tennis player, I should say, now Hannah Sedgwick. And then wrapping up her career, over 400 sets, over 115 matches played for the Baylor Bears as a starter.
That's phenomenal. She's been fun to watch over the years.
2-time All-American, 3-time All-Big 12. And on cue.
You set it up perfect. And she likes to attack too. She can be an offensive threat as well.
Nemhard. Skinner through the block. K-State seems to be stuck right now in this rotation with Nemhard on the front, Carter in the back row. And good work here by somebody. Haley Warner looks like calling everybody back into the huddle to try and get K-State a little bit of focus.
Yeah, that's a veteran play there by Warner. Definitely what K-State needs is a little senior leadership out there. Get their team together, take a deep breath. They just have to get one side out here, get out of this rotation.
Holly Bonde checks in for Bolding in the middle blocker spot. K-State did experiment with this a little bit in practice this week. Bonde kind of being a utility super sub, going as an outside hitter, left or right, 15 there on the left side of your screen, or can come in the middle. This is what she did for one set as a weapon for K-State.
Yeah, just add another hitter up there and give K-State another option.
So she'll check out. Lauren Hinkle back to serve. K-State finally breaks the run of the Bears, but in a big hole here, serving with Hinkle. An aggressive service, and it's out. No aces for K-State, 2 errors.
Hinkle's such a tough server. She gets it high and flat, and it just always seems to be riding that line, whether it's in or out.
Came in with 14 service aces in her last 24 sets, but 2 errors so far today. Here's Warner, blocked, but out, in on the Baylor side, of course, or on the K-State side, Baylor point, and Baylor takes set number 1. close halfway through. Baylor closes with a 10-3 run to take set one on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The offense for the Wildcats. So Skinner and Carter, the respective team leaders in kills. We'll see what set two has in store for us.
Yeah, if K-State can get their pass going and get more of their attackers involved, that will open up Carter and Nembhard on the outside and make this a much closer match.
Baylor, though, doing a little bit of what they've been doing lately during this 4-match win streak. They have now held 10 straight sets with the opponent under 20 points. So it's not just K-State. It's a very good Rice team. It's been ranked points this year. That was taken down in 3 down in Waco. And that includes number 7 Florida, who they swept in 3 at number 7 Florida down in Gainesville. All 3 sets, Florida never got above 20 points. To work, Carter through the block, gets the first point of set number 2. Still, if you're the Baylor Bears, you're feeling pretty good about things after the first set win. For more on what they're thinking about heading into the second one, here's Catherine Benhart.
Yeah, so right now in the huddle, they're saying the offense is good. They've got to stay sharp, though, and clean up the blocks. He says the servers need to stay relentless and do not break down, and really they just want to start out strong in this set.
Didn't feel like they were as strong to begin the night as they did at the end. And again, touching on the block side, we talked about that at the outset. Blocking for this Baylor team, they have the potential to be there, but maybe not as good as they need to be, or Ryan McGuire wants them to be.
Yeah, definitely. And if K-State can get their offensive going and mix it up a little bit more, then fool that block, make that block work, they'll be able to take advantage and really kind of get Baylor back on their heels a little bit more.
Again, Baylor rotating at the middle today. Andressa Parise, Presley Anderson, the 2. No Kara McGee, the all-conference middle blocker so far for Baylor. Back-to-back service errors by these 2 teams. That's 4 errors on the day so far from Baylor. On their serve, Jackie Smith, one of the few veterans for K-State, is in to serve. Smith missed some time earlier this year for K-State with an injury, missed 4 matches, but back and a couple of aces up in Omaha last weekend. Skinner blasts one left side.
Yeah, a little inside move there for Skinner. They brought her in just a little bit faster set, able to beat that K-State block.
Daughter of Brian Skinner, 3-time all-conference player for Baylor basketball back in the late 90s. Carter got a touch. No. Well, it sounded like it in front of us.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it.
A challenge from K-State. Carter with her 3rd attack error. A slide for Fernholz, and she is roofed by Skinner, who's done it all here in the early going.
You know, Skinner really a veteran player for this Baylor Bears team. Add her experience to Yassiana Presley, that's a pretty powerful 1-2 combo.
National champion for Kentucky last year. Stump Carter into the block, got a touch. Skinner block covered though by Bram Schreiber. So just go over to Presley. I mean, when Skinner's not enough, Sebic just, all right, I'll throw it out to the other first-team All-American National Player of the Year.
Now you talk about the work for K-State's block. They were on the outside blocking Skinner, and then Sedgwick with that ability to throw that ball back to Presley. K-State's got to get that block set up a little bit better on Presley.
Carter. Baylor scrambling, they'll get to Skinner, and she is blocked. So eventually it works out. The Wildcats get the side out. Nembhard rotates to the front row with Carter to serve.
K-State's doing a nice job of getting a good block set up on the outside hitters of the Baylor Bears, making Skinner work a little bit more.
Quick set to Parise. Wildcats dig that out. Throw to the back corner, just long. Not a bad idea by Nembhard.
It's a great idea, great idea. Just a little too hard to find that in line. Oh, so close.
It was wide open too.
Yes.
And Nembhard, who has a heavy arm, nice to see her change up and go to something like that. Have that recognition.
That'll definitely open up things for her more if she's able to get more of those to fall.
Carter from the middle. Are you serious? But a shot from Aaliyah Air Carter.
That was a great setup by Adams Connoy. She left it so really Carter had to really fly into that ball with her approach. Really allowed her to gain more power. So pretty to watch.
Harrison, palm save by Smith. Up by Carter. K-State scrambling. Nembhard. Presley couldn't get much on it. Dug up. Nembhard to end the rally. Kept alive by Baylor. Pushed over the net. Advantage K-State. Quick set Bolding. Did she get it in? Yes! And a rally to the Wildcats.
That's a great rally for K-State to win. Gain a little momentum here. Really making Baylor earn every point.
Here's Susie Fritz in the background telling her team that's the kind of work you got to do. Presley through the block of Bolding and Nembhard. Just gets so high. 6 foot is what Presley is listed at. Out of Cypress, Texas. And boy, did she change the Big 12. She came
She definitely
to
did.
Baylor.
You look at the outside hitters for the Big 12 conference right now. It's pretty phenomenal.
And it seemed like when she arrived, it was a culture change. Everybody in the league thought, we have to go find a Yassiana Presley. And someone that's a little, maybe not the big 6'4", hammering outside, but more of the 5'10" to 6 foot, just freakishly athletic. Gonna go out there and just jump over the block. And all of a sudden, you saw clones of that at every single school. With limited success, because there is only one Yassiana Presley.
There is only one.
Teams trading a couple of service errors. 5 errors for Baylor with the serve, 4 for K-State. Only 1 ace so far in this match. It belongs to the Bears. Presley to serve.
Yeah, Yassiana Presley has a really nice jump serve, a top spin jump serve, but she's been standing on the ground today.
Big block by K-State's Bolding.
That's exactly what K-State needs to get those middles, to get some of those blocks, shut down those outside hitters for Baylor.
Bolding was nagged by an early season injury right as the season started. Didn't get much early playing time, but K-State was very hopeful that she would be a complimentary number 2 middle behind Fernholz. 6'5", Bolding coming from Jacksonville, where she was a member of the all-conference team as a freshman. Haley Warner off the bump from Hinkle.
That's a nice mix-up by Warner. She's been going cross-court, and then she has that ability to hit that line shot. It's a good mix-up by her.
Schreiber unable to handle that one. K-State has tied it again in the second set. Hinkle, good serve. Presley got a huge head of steam. Hinkle with a headlong dive to save it. Gonna be tough for Carter to get it over. She just barely does. Skinner again for the back row. Wide of the mark. No touch by K-State.
That's great work by K-State. They're making Baylor make those errors. They can continue to kind of just dig deep, keep that ball in play.
Harrison. Morris digs it. Adams Cottonnoe. Double hit called on her. And after K-State had complained about a few double hits earlier, that was not met with the best of reactions from Susie Fritz.
Yeah, you really look at the spin on the ball as it comes out of the hands. She could have an argument. It could be called a little more evenly.
Serving right at Carter. She'll get it back and pounds it home.
That's a good set by Adams Cottonnoe. Gives her that line option. She's got Sedgwick up against her. Gives her a little bit more room.
Presley from the back line. Just back and forth, these two teams with their outside swinging away.
It's just a wicked spin on that ball.
The ups by Presley. Unbelievable. Fernholz. Skinner inside and got it.
Wow, that's a great play by Skinner. That ball was very tight. K-State's block was there, but she just snaps it off the top of the hands of the block.
8 kills for Skinner, hitting .375. She's added 3 digs and a couple of blocks. And another double hit.
That pass was a little tight for Adams Cotonou. She did all she could to try to keep that ball in play.
When you're not getting the benefit of those calls in your Kansas State, you can feel a little bit like the odds are stacked against you. Carter, blocked, covered by K-State. Back to Carter. Skinner through the block. K-State might have been into the net anyway. And Susie Fritz wants a timeout. Baylor with a little bit of momentum here in the second set. Already up 1-0 on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Opening up Big 12 play at home against number 10 Baylor. Timeout by the Wildcats a moment ago after Baylor able to put up 3 straight. Out of the timeout, Carter looking for kill number 4 in this set. Gets it off the back line, a misplay, a rare mistake by the back line of Baylor. Carter with her 4th kill in this second set. She's got 8 so far on the day. 5 digs to lead K-State in both categories. Baylor being led by Avery Skinner, who's got 9 kills to this point. And of course, Yassiana Presley, as we talked about, opening the match. 7 kills, hitting .385. Presley from the back and up with a one-hand bomb Smith. Here comes Carter to finish the transition.
Now Baylor block is just reaching a little high, which is giving Carter enough of a seam in between those hands to rip that ball.
Ideally, you want them to go up and over,
yes,
right? That's
press low. Low with the block.
Skinner out. No touch. So after a first set where Baylor was very few mistakes as far as their attack, hit well over 300, hit 480 as a matter of fact in the first set. It's been a little more error prone here in the second. 4 errors, 6 kills for Baylor. Skinner back to the left, this time got it past the block.
That's a great mix-up veteran play there by Skinner. She's been ripping away at that ball. Huge hole there behind that K-State block.
First double kill match, or double figure kill match for Skinner in 4 matches. And not because of talent, usually just because they win so fast. They don't get as many swings. Misplay by Baylor allows K-State to get yet another side out.
Good mix up by Carter. She saw something there. That block is in front of her.
5 kills now in the set by Carter. She's got 9 for the game. Presley recognizing the block early, tried to tip. Thrown out to Nemhard into the block. Everybody diving. Still alive for Baylor and just pushed across. Nemhard well off the net. Presley blocked, but right to Nemhard. Fernholz just not quite in sync on that slide yet. Presley. Carter from well back couldn't get it the right swing.
Yeah, Set was a little bit behind her head. She wasn't able to get her full approach in. Tried to just cut it over the net, just not quite enough power behind it.
McGuire up the bench, urging on the Bears. K-State has rallied a bit. High set for Nemhard. Now for Presley. And a throw and a misplay by Carter in the back line. Presley has number 8.
Yeah, Carter'd like to have that back. A pretty easy play for her. Just didn't quite get those hands up early enough to get a good contact. You hate to see those slip through your hands like that.
Skinner. Too long on the serve. 6th service error for Baylor. 10 combined errors from these two teams, only 1 ace. Wildcats still looking for their first ace. They came in with 5 aces or more in 8 straight matches during this win streak. That's been the key to their success. Presley dug, flipped over by Nembhard, and a lift called on Jaden Nembhard. Susie Fritz cannot believe that. Look at this again. Oh boy, that's a tough call.
Yeah, we see tips like that quite frequently.
Right in front of us there, Susie Fritz talking with veteran official Mary Farragher. This is not a reviewable thing. Such a quick whistle, too.
Definitely.
Adams Cotton-Noe this time does it herself.
Yeah, perfect timing there by Adams Cotton-Noe. No block up on her. She read it well.
One-hand stab by Adams Cotton-Noe, got it up. Here comes Nembhard. Played not well in the back line, but it gets to Harrison. Flipped it over. Tight set for Warner, but off the block, she'll get it.
Wow, great save by Adams Cotton-Noe just to get the set up to Warner, and then great finish, tight set. She's able to just use the block. See if K-State can kind of use that call that they had earlier to kind of get a little chip on their shoulder and run some points.
K-State playing with a little bit more urgency here in the second set, flying around. And then the service error at a bad time. Still hunting for that ace. Not only has K-State had those 5 or more aces in 8 straight matches, but 10 of the last 11. And they had a run of 43 service aces in 24 sets coming into today. And have had 0 so far. Warner on the right.
That's a good side out by the Wildcats. That's the rotation they got stuck in at the end of that first set. It was a good first side out by the Wildcats.
Haley Warner now with 6 kills, hitting .333. Lauren Hinkle, among the Big 12 leaders in service aces. Block on Harrison. What a save by Skinner. Back to Harrison. Carter up the line. Got it in. And a very quick overruling by the floor officials to say that was indeed out. Point to Baylor.
No argument by K-State.
Clearly out.
Presley had her foot on the line.
Bolding, popped up by Sedgwick. Out to Skinner. Touched by Bolding, but nobody could cover.
Skinner has done such a great job of using that block in front of her so far this evening.
Great line by Skinner through 2 sets. Back to Carter. Too long on the throw. Just a hair off for Carter a few times on that attempt to try and get it back to that back corner. 6 errors for Carter and a timeout by K-State. It'll be their second. Well, the Baylor Bears, as we mentioned, K-State was not the only team riding a bit of a win streak coming in. Baylor has won 4 in a row after a very difficult non-conference schedule, starting to feel like they're starting to put some things together and be the team that will vie for a Big 12 championship. For Ryan McGuire, as to what they hope to get out of this 2-day turn through Manhattan, Kansas. Let's go to Catherine Benhart once again.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, when I talked to Baylor head coach Ryan McGuire and asked what he wants to see in the performance this weekend, he said, we really want to get sharper in everything that we do in all aspects of the game. He says, we've been training in the right direction. We've seen some good things in serve. terms of our service side, our side-out game, transition game, digging, passing, everything. And this is something they were talking about in the huddle earlier today. They just want to get sharper on all fronts.
Well, needless to say, with the 1-2 punch that they have on either side of the antennas with Skinner and Presley, they're going to beat and be in a lot of matches. But that's not the goal right now for Ryan McGuire. It's the ever-elusive Final Four National Championship game, which is what they're pushing Texas to be. Texas, the undisputed #1 team in the land. They're going to have a shot, but there's some things still to tighten up for Baylor. This is not an infallible team, and that's, I guess, what Ryan McGuire is trying to say right there.
Yeah, definitely. But he's also, put his team in a position by, scheduling such a tough non-conference schedule, to try to figure out what those weak areas are. And, I think they learn a lot from that preseason. And, now this is the time that they get to grow through the conference and build that momentum into November, December.
Top 10 opponents: Minnesota at Wisconsin, Pitt at Florida for 2. It's a very difficult schedule to begin the year. Carter into the block and under the hands of Anderson. Carter with her 11th.
Yeah, Anderson just reaching too high. She was almost floating off the net, and that ball just snuck right through. That's a great, effective use of the block.
So each time K-State's burned a timeout, they've been able to rip off a few points to get back into the set. We'll see if it happens here. Morris to serve. 17 aces for Morris this year. Baylor a bit out of sync. Skinner got a touch and gets another kill. A dozen for Skinner.
Yeah, that set was kind of off the net there, but she's still able to just snap it enough to find that deep corner, use the block. So good.
Warner, who win against Skinner for many years in the SEC. Point for Baylor on the touch by K-State. And it's set point for the Bears to go up 2-0. Serving with Bram Schreiber. Plano, Texas, got it just over the tape. Warner got a good swing off the set from Hinkle.
Yeah, that's a great rip by Warner. Had a little hole in the block. A great opportunity there to go swing away.
Jackie Smith to serve for the Wildcats, one of the veterans. Still set point for the Baylor Bears. Skinner emphatically finishes the second set. What a 2-set run for Avery Skinner, putting on a show in the Little Apple. 14 kills for Skinner, and the Bears lead 2-0 in their Big 12 opener on Big 12 Now. And right, Baylor on the other side, just again still looking for an answer in the middle. They've been content to stay on the outside and pipe shots from the back, and have had no trouble with those players getting off, including Skinner, who gets started in the third set with a point and a kill. 15 for Skinner. And we see Kara McGee on cue in the middle for the first time today for Baylor. So looking for something in the middle a little bit more. K-State goes to Bolding. That's dug by Presley. Skinner cuffs it to the middle. Block on Bolding. Sep kept alive. Gets to Carter. And again, Skinner.
Skinner, so good. Just hitting those high hands. Just able to ricochet it through that block. Just, it's so hard to play that behind the block.
Shallow serve, pick it on Carter. K-State goes the other way to Warner, no touch. 3 straight by the Bears to open up the third. Bram Schreiber still serving here. Shallow serve again on Carter. And dumped over by Baylor, but not well. K-State gets it back. Morris back to Carter. No. Hinkle, how about a third time? One palm save, but no one else. And the Bears with a 4-0 start to the third set.
Well, McGee definitely making an impact so far with blocking in the middle, setting up a nice block there against Carter.
And a timeout taken by Susie Fritz. Just a few points in, an adjustment made by Baylor with Kara McGee. And the Wildcats trying to adjust when we return. It's another point. What K-State needs to do to adjust out of this. Let's get more on that from Catherine Benhart.
K-State head coach Susie Fritz is saying that Baylor's playing a cleaner game overall. She said, we've got to go out and be super aggressive and get better. They've got more in them, and they've got to give it their very best effort in this set.
Warner misses outside the mark here. And Susie Fritz, we saw the Wildcats at times in the first set and pretty much the entire second set play right with this team. Show that they are indeed one of the best teams in the Big 12. K-State picked third in the conference. Carter on the left side. Number 12 for Carter. Hit percentage isn't great, but 12 kills, 6 digs in a little over 2 sets.
Yeah, she brings so much heat with her attack that just hitting those high hands, she's able to just ricochet it enough. So good.
Presley. K-State was ready for it, had a huge block, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, Presley, that set is almost, it's almost so fast, but Presley with her, you know, leaping abilities is able to get on that ball and not really get a back row attack call. It's crazy.
Not only is it fast, but it is about midway between that 10-foot line and the net. I mean, it's, or the 6-foot line and the net. I mean, it's not even like a back set, like
No.
in the next, you know, the X or the pipe.
With her leaping abilities, you have to really lay that ball up, you know. You kind of think of it like almost like a slam dunk, I guess. You
That's
know,
right.
you really lay it up there so she can go get it.
Presley coming around in a new spot, no block. Good night.
That's that double attack there out of the middle. K-State's got to do a better job of really focusing in on those attackers and being ready with the block. Can't leave her with a wide open net.
Fernholz. A couple of swings here looking better for Fernholz, and there's a double contact on Baylor that has been a call that has been made a few times tonight.
Yeah, it's finally gone the other way.
An impressive start by Baylor in the third set. 6 kills on 8 attempts, no errors. Harrison. Nemhard, and she'll get the kill. Nemhard, number 3.
Yeah, set was a little tight. Got Yassiana Presley blocking against you. Good mix-up play there.
Good serve by Carter, gets Baylor out of system. Fernholz on the slide.
And K-State's going to want to get her going on that a little bit more. Really pull that block out there. And if Adams Katanoe can do that enough, get Nemhard a little more open on the outside.
McGee's first swing, touched. Tight set for Nemhard. Harrison blocked. Back to Fernholz. Did it touch Baylor's the question? They're going to say no. Hit the tape the whole time.
Darn.
See if Susie Fritz will challenge this one. She may do it just to slow things down a little bit here, but do not believe that that hit the block.
Yeah, it looked like it hit the tape all the way.
So the challenge has been offered. Well, maybe right there. Harrison, though, came off the net immediately and said that
No touch.
she did not touch it. Does get the kill. A much needed one for the Wildcats, who trailed 8-3 at one point. Have now cut the gap to 2, serving with Carter still. Fernholz now 4 kills, hitting .333 in her return to the lineup. K-State is a team hitting just .162. Baylor hitting .375. getting checked out, squared away at the scores table. We're ready to go. Carter to serve. No aces today for a Wildcat team that's among the best of the Big 12 when it comes to service aces. Third in service aces per set in the league. First in service aces overall with 72. They have none today against the Bears. Presley dug by the Wildcats, but unable to turn it into anything. Baylor the advantage. Quick set McGee. Nembhard just in play. Presley blocked. Back to Presley again. Hard shot, no touch. Rally to K-State.
This is a good turn here for the Wildcats. They're not doing too much, making some good defensive plays, extending those rallies.
So their 5-0 run here by the Wildcats. Presley to end it. Yes. So Presley sides out for Baylor. Bears siding out at 67%. And Presley now with 11 kills, hitting .320. Carter for the back row, couldn't get it over.
The set was a little behind her head. She didn't have much of an approach. Talking about that leading set, so important with those back row attacks.
Callie Williams, who's actually listed as the backup setter, but has played much this year as a server, gets another shallow serve, working out for Baylor.
Anderson saw that open spot, just tried to hit it off those hands. K-State
struggling a bit on the serve receive and this shallow serve. See if Williams does it again. Picking on Carter. Quick set to Anderson. Fernholz got a block on it. She'll kill off the pass, or attempt to. Off to Carter, Nembhard. And she'll finish the rally.
Such a deceptive attack by Nembhard. Her shoulders made you think she might be going kind of over line, but she kind of almost swings really wrist away on that ball. Makes my shoulder hurt watching that.
Presley, when they need it. A dozen for Presley.
Yeah, you just feel like K-State's blocks there. Like, you know, they might get a touch on it, but she just finds those seams and little holes in the block so well.
Finally a senior. Been an All-American since day one. Harrison dug over near us. Nembhard, oh look, miscommunication with Carter, just gets over. Pop back to K-State. Anderson, really the best swing of the night for her.
Yeah, Baylor is really pushing those middles in this set, trying to get a little bit of that momentum here going.
Goes back to what we heard Catherine tell us from the Baylor perspective, wanting to improve everywhere. And that was certainly a spot that had been a question mark. Seems like they have found a little something here and now with Anderson and McGee in the middle in this third set.
McGee's definitely got the experience for those Baylor Bears. She's played in some big time matches for them over the years.
Two-time All Big 12 pick, All Region last year as well. Harrison on the serve receive did not give a very good pass to her setter. It did not turn out well on the other end. So K-State doesn't get credit for an ace there, but a good serve by Adams Katanoi. Back to serve it again. Anderson wanted it again. K-State goes to their middle, and Bolding finds a crease between Presley and Bramschreiber.
That's a great set by Adams Ka'anoi in transition. Gives her a one-on-one opportunity.
And a service here by K-State. The 6th of the day by the Wildcats. With no aces. Briseño to serve. Out of San Antonio, freshman. Nembhard goes big swing and gets the benefit of it. Nembhard in a good third set.
Yeah, she's had some great shots. We've seen it all. That sharp angle down the line, deep corner.
Exploded onto the scene last year against West Virginia and Morgantown. God thought for sure she'd be the number 2, the Robin to Batman, so to speak, with Aaliyah Carter this year. But Holly Bondi had such a great start to the season. Nembhard is not yet in the groove. But now finding her rhythm in Big 12 play. Presley again. From our vantage point, you can see the ball go high. Not only you see this, you see the number 22 jersey leap high into the air. You're just like, oh boy, here you go.
And she lands almost at the net, almost under, you know, she went much further. It's really a phenomenal approach she has out of her back row attack.
A joy to watch. Really is. I mean, anybody else in the Big 12 all the way around, you've got to come see Presley before she departs, because she'll be playing on the national stage, world stage, very soon.
Yeah.
Unbelievable outside hitter. Warner blocked. McGee. And Skinner. What a day for Skinner. 17 kills, a season best for Baylor now. She's added 7 digs, 3 blocks.
Hitting .519. Did I read that right?
No, you did.
Oh my goodness.
Denied here. Tries to craftily put one down the net. K-State goes out to Warner and puts one in. Warner with her 8th kill, but hitting less than 100, and a timeout for K-State. 18-12, Baylor leading. Of course, today has been...
Got to get a good pass here.
Hard to believe there's only been 1 ace in this match combined between the 2 teams. And Baylor feels like has been the better serving team. They have really put K-State in some stressful spots. Much of it has been of the shallow serve, and no doubt K-State will be practicing shallow serves coming up this week. Change up for the Wildcats in the middle, bowling out. Kaylee Hollywood is in. Hollywood, a big blocking presence. Had 10 blocks in a match at Omaha last week, the 2nd most in a single match by anyone in the Big 12 this year. Carter over the top of the block.
Yeah, that seam for Carter has been open all night with her high angle of attack.
Presley this time couldn't quite get to that set, just had to tip it. Carter tipping and get it in. 14 now for Carter.
Yeah, good mix up by Carter. Again, we've seen such veteran play by her.
2 digs from a double-double for Carter. Skinner, one of the rare times she hasn't put it down. Back to Carter, popped over. Skinner tried to eat K-State alive, they couldn't quite do it. Here's McGee, dug out. Warner. Oh, and Sedgwick. Crafty veteran move.
I kept waiting for her to do it. Some of those digs have been a little tight, but that was a great timing by her, just with the little set right over the net to the heart of the court.
What a dig, too. Such a great look there from our replay, too, showing Sedgwick up to the last second, you would not know she was going to go with a dump to the middle. Good dig by Baylor to keep that alive. K-State unable to finish with Fernholz. Passed over the net. Carter trying to sneak one behind the block. Here comes Presley. And into the net on K-State. It's going to be on Carter.
Wow, such great defense by the Baylor Bears. You even saw Sedgwick get on the floor to get a dig. Battling back there.
Sedgwick now nearing a double-double herself. Carter wide of the mark. 9 attack errors by Carter. Susie Fritz wanted a timeout, but there weren't any. Two points left for the Bears to try and take this one in 3 in Manhattan. The two teams meet here again tomorrow. 5 o'clock on ESPNU. It'll be another showcase night on national television for the outsides of these two teams. And again, this is scheduling that has happened because of COVID. Just trying to minimize travel and exposure and all those sorts of things. But it's been kind of an interesting twist to what is normally a Big 12 schedule of home and away. You play everybody once, first time for the league, and then you play flip-flop, play them the opposite. If you went to their place the first time, you go host them the second time through the Big 12. And it's usually a Wednesday, Saturday scheduling throughout the year. This has been a little bit of a different where you're having to make adjustments overnight to play the same team again the next day. Sounds like this scheduling will go back to its normal side next year. So this will be the last year of this kind of back-to-back nights.
Yeah, it's much different, you know. Back in the day when I played, we did do, but we would do like I remember like my first road trip was Texas and Texas A&M, you know,
right.
kind of back-to-back Texas schools. Yep. You know, and then that changed to that Wednesday, Saturday, which I think would be a little bit easier to help you prep each match you look at more individually versus a group.
Cassie Davis is coming on the outside for Baylor as they try and work a couple of different outside hitters. K-State against match point here. Fernholz on the slide will contend or keep it going for one more. Davis is a true sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Played in just 6 sets last year. This is just her 3rd set of play this year. 6'4" on the outside for Baylor. Presley. Dug by Carter. Morris near the scorer's table. And it's played over. Presley to end the night. Got it in. And the Baylor Bears open Big 12 play with a straight 3-0 win.